when we discuss cryptocurrencies and things like that, the question I would have is what is the need that they are feeling? Or is it just a technology, a new tool, and we are interested in just the technology, but not what it is going to help, let's say, citizens, et cetera, et cetera. So those are the issues. So we've been talking to our peers and others around the world about our experience, and we've distilled it, and I think it is beneficial. In terms of cryptos, et cetera, I think we have to appreciate that the technologies that they represent are very interesting and very good technologies. So from a technological perspective, there is something there. But on the other hand, the issue is there may be tools in search of a problem to resolve. And that's where our concerns or our questions are. I mean, early on, Bitcoin was, in a sense, played up as the new sort of do-it-all. And I'm saying that also to be somewhat provocative. And also the technologies were put forward as something that, have certain, I want to say, powers in terms of, let's say, they're being, let's say, unable to break into them, etc. Now we know what has happened since then. History has revealed that those, let's say, those points that were put out there, or those properties may or may not have been, let's say, accurate. But the point I would make is they do have a place. I mean, cryptocurrencies have a place, but it has to be clear that it is a specific place that has properties. For instance, you need to be concerned about some, the potential negative side effects of this. And we've talked about the issue of them supporting illicit transactions, etc. So you do need to have them in a place where, or in a space where those sort of concerns are taken care of. Secondly, the question is it just for transactions, right? Because as you said, here in Kenya, we do have significant transactions that are taking place through other channels. So the question is, what is the problem that these cryptocurrencies are trying to resolve? Or is it the issue of anonymity? And when you get into anonymity, then you have issues of AML, money laundering and all those other concerns. And anonymity may not be an issue that, let's say, the vast majority of the population are interested in. So my point is the space of cryptocurrencies needs to be, well mapped out. Frankly, it has looked more as a sort of a speculative investment. Again, trying to be provocative. It could really be like tulips, in the golden days, or for that matter, all the other speculations that, or let's say, bubbles that we have had. And frankly, today, Bitcoin is more of and other coins, similar coins, are more of an investment thing, right? You put money in it and you hope that you're going to get twice as a return of X% in so many months or years or whatever it is. So that's one set of things. But on the other hand, you do have the other issue of other currencies. Okay, so CBD, this is a central bank digital currencies. So there is actually a lot of, let's say, discussion and a lot of work around this by central banks and others, BIS, etc. And we are involved in it sort of on the margins, but we are also involved in it in various ways. The only point I would make, let me make several points on this. First is that I think from my perspective, the push came very much because of the private cryptocurrencies and the way those sort of mushroomed. And I think we felt, as central bankers, felt left out. And we sort of say, well, maybe this is our space. Now, central banks wouldn't go in the same way private currencies or coins would. What do I mean by that? I mean, central bankers do understand their fundamental mandate. And their mandates really relate to, obviously, price stability and other things, financial stability, etc. And so the idea here is, could we as central banks, or could our central bank, true to its mandate, use this tool in a way to achieve efficiently the purpose that was set out in our acts, in our charter, etc., etc. And I think that's really where the conversation is today. And there was a recent report by the various central banks in the advanced economies plus the BIS, precisely on sort of what the principles of such a central bank digital currency would be. What are the principles that of this digital currency would need to abide by? Now, my point in this is we will look at it, and we should look at this thing and see whether there is a potential for ourselves, doing our work better. The only point here is that, one could ask, but already central banks do provide currencies to, or do provide, let's say, liabilities. It will be a central bank liability to banks, right? So what is different? The critical difference here is that the liabilities would be available, meaning the currency would be available to the general public. And today now, and it wouldn't be cash. Today now, the only way, let's say, a private citizen would hold a central bank liability would be through cash. Now, I want to say that the problem is there's another, let's say, push in all this, which is what I would call the death of cash. But I think, unfortunately, the death of cash has been greatly exaggerated, and it will be with us for some time. And from our perspective, it's true, our cash demands have gone down, but they haven't gone down to zero. We still have significant demands. And this, I think, is something that we need to look at carefully, because it's not that we want to go into a cash-less economy. I think we should be going to a less cash economy. And in that space, you still have the current arrangements, and they seem to be doing generally okay, both in terms of efficiency and also in terms of speed, etc.